Right now, underneath your kitchen sink, there's a machine that the plumbing industry has turned into a permanent cash register, and every single time it smells bad, slows down, or stops working, they collect another $150 from your wallet for a fix that costs you absolutely nothing. Not $5, not $2, zero. The same ice cubes sitting in your freezer right now, combined with a lemon peel you were about to throw in the trash, and a $1 box of baking soda that has been sitting in your pantry for months, that combination permanently cleans, sharpens, deodorizes, and fully restores your garbage disposal to brand new performance in 60 seconds flat. Meanwhile, the average plumber charges $150 just to show up, before diagnosis, before labor, before parts, and disposal replacement quotes $400 to $800 installed, for a problem that your kitchen already solved for free. They did not hide this because it fails. They hid it because it works too well. Sit with that for a second. Every bad smell your disposal ever pushed through your kitchen. Every time it ran slow and you assumed something was broken. Every service call, every disposal cleaner pod. Every foaming tablet at $12 for a six-pack. All of it. Unnecessary. There was always a $0 answer sitting 3 feet away in your freezer and your fruit bowl. The plumbing industry knew. The branded cleaning product companies knew. And they made a very deliberate, very profitable decision to make sure you never found out. This channel exists to blow that open. Every video we release is a piece of buried knowledge that some industry paid serious money to keep away from your kitchen, your garage, your bathroom, and your bank account. We do not have sponsors. We do not have brand deals. We have information, and we are putting it directly in your hands. If you want to stop wasting money on industry lies, subscribe and hit the bell. Because what is coming next in this channel will make today look like the opening act. Now, let me take you somewhere. The year is 1931. Cincinnati, Ohio, one of the most industrially active cities in America during that era, there was a sanitation engineer, a methodical, precise man who spent his career studying why municipal drain systems in residential neighborhoods failed faster in certain districts than others. He had access to maintenance logs going back decades, and he noticed a pattern that nobody else had bothered to connect. The drain systems in working-class neighborhoods where housewives regularly discarded citrus peels and used ice from their ice boxes to keep drainage lines clear during summer months. Those systems lasted significantly longer between service interventions. The lines stayed cleaner. The organic buildup that caused slowdowns and backups in other districts was dramatically reduced in these areas. He documented it in a city infrastructure report filed in 1932, a report that was reviewed by exactly 4 people, stamped, filed, and forgotten inside a cabinet in a Cincinnati municipal building. Because in 1932, the drain cleaning service industry was already a profitable business, and nobody in that ecosystem had any interest in a report that told homeowners their kitchen scraps were doing the job better than paid services. But the housewives already knew. Not from reports, not from engineers, from experience, from watching what happened when citrus hit their drain versus when it did not, from understanding that the cold from their icebox kept things moving and clean in a way that hot water alone never did. Your grandmother already knew this. She used it every single day. Citrus peels went down the drain with purpose, not by accident. Ice from the icebox got used for maintenance, not just drinks. This was kitchen wisdom that got quietly buried under 60 years of branded products and service call culture until most American households completely forgot it ever existed. And here is what the industry replaced it with. InSinkErator launched their first residential garbage disposal in 1938. By the 1950s and 1960s, disposals were standard in American kitchens. And the moment that happened, a new service revenue category was born: disposal maintenance, disposal repair, disposal replacement. Suddenly there were enzyme cleaner products, deodorizer pods, foaming tablets, and a whole ecosystem of branded solutions to a problem that ice, citrus, and baking soda had already been solving for free for decades. They could not patent any of those ingredients. You cannot patent a lemon peel, you cannot patent ice, you cannot patent sodium bicarbonate. So they buried the knowledge underneath marketing budgets and service call pricing structures that have extracted billions of dollars from American homeowners ever since. This is where we go deep, because you deserve to understand not just what works, but exactly why it works, at the molecular level, so that nobody can ever sell you an inferior, expensive substitute again. Your garbage disposal's grinding chamber is a warm, wet, dark environment that processes organic material multiple times every single day. That is a perfect breeding environment for biofilm. Biofilm is a structured community of bacteria that adheres to surfaces and produces a protective matrix of organic compounds around itself. That matrix is primarily composed of nonpolar lipid molecules, fats and grease from your food waste that bond aggressively to the metal surfaces of your grinding plate, your impeller teeth, and your grind ring. At the molecular level, these grease bonds are nonpolar, which means water, a polar molecule, literally cannot break them. No matter how much hot water you run, no matter how much dish soap you pour down there, you're not making meaningful contact with the actual problem at the chemical level. You are washing over it. The biofilm stays, the smell stays, the performance degradation stays. Ice attacks this problem through physics, not chemistry. When ice contacts the spinning metal components of your disposal at high RPM, two things happen simultaneously. First, the rapid temperature drop causes the grease and biofilm layer to contract slightly and lose some of its adhesion to the metal surface. Cold makes organic deposits more brittle and less flexible. Second, the ice itself acts as a precision abrasive. It is hard enough to physically scour the grinding surfaces and dislodge the biofilm layer, but soft enough that it causes zero wear or damage to the metal components underneath. It is the perfect hardness for this exact application. Nature engineered it better than any branded cleaning product ever could. Then the lemon peel enters the chamber. Lemon peel contains high concentrations of citric acid and D-limonene, a natural solvent found in citrus oils that is powerfully effective at dissolving nonpolar grease compounds. At the molecular level, D-limonene is itself a nonpolar molecule, which means it can penetrate and mix with the grease deposits that water cannot touch. It gets inside the biofilm matrix, breaks the molecular bonds holding grease to the metal surface, and converts those deposits into water-soluble compounds that flush cleanly through your drain. This is not masking the problem. This is eliminating it at the chemical level. If you have made it this far, you already know more than 99% of homeowners in America. Most people will spray some dish soap down their disposal, run hot water for 10 seconds, wonder why the smell comes back 3 days later, and eventually hand a plumber $150 to do what you are about to do for free, right now, in your own kitchen, with things you already own. So let us get into the exact process. No vague instructions, no just throw some ice in there. Every step is specific, every quantity is exact, and by the time this is done, your disposal will perform better than it has in years, possibly better than the day it was installed. Before you touch anything, do one quick check. Reach under your sink and make sure your disposal is switched off at the wall switch. Not just the counter switch, the wall switch. You are not putting your hand inside an active disposal, ever, but we are going to be working close to the opening and I want you fully safe before we start. If your disposal has a reset button on the bottom of the unit under the sink, check that it is not popped out. A tripped reset button is actually the number one reason disposals appear broken when they are completely fine. Press it in firmly if it is protruding. That single button press has saved thousands of homeowners from unnecessary service calls, and they never even knew it. Keep that in mind. Now here is your complete supply list for this treatment. You need 10 to 12 standard ice cubes. You need half a lemon, or if you have been juicing lemons and have peels sitting in your kitchen, 2 or 3 peels work identically. You need 2 tablespoons of baking soda. That is it. If you want to do the upgraded version, and I strongly recommend you make this a habit, fill an ice cube tray with white vinegar and freeze it ahead of time. Vinegar ice cubes add an acetic acid cleaning layer on top of the mechanical scouring action and dramatically increase how deeply the treatment penetrates the biofilm on your grinding components. A frozen vinegar ice tray costs you maybe 20 cents to make and lasts for multiple treatments. Make one tonight after this video. But for right now, regular ice cubes will show you results that will genuinely surprise you. Step 1. Turn on your cold water tap at the kitchen sink to a steady medium flow. Cold water only. Not warm, not hot. Cold. You want the temperature inside that grinding chamber low before the ice hits so the thermal contrast effect is maximized. Hot water softens grease deposits and makes them more pliable and adhesive. The exact opposite of what we want. Cold water keeps that grease layer brittle so the ice can fracture and dislodge it cleanly. This is a detail that nobody in the branded product world will ever tell you, because it costs them nothing and saves you everything. Step 2. Turn your disposal on with the cold water still running. Let it run empty for about 10 seconds, then drop your 10 to 12 ice cubes directly into the running disposal all at once. Do not feed them in slowly, drop them as a group. You want an immediate impact load on the grinding components. That sudden mass of ice hitting the spinning impeller plate simultaneously creates the maximum scouring effect across the entire grinding surface at one moment. You will hear the sound change dramatically. It gets louder, more aggressive, almost like gravel going through the machine. That is exactly what you want to hear. That is the sound of years of biofilm and grease deposit being physically fractured and dislodged from your grinding components in real time. Keep the cold water flowing the entire time. The ice will clear in about 20 to 30 seconds. Do not turn the disposal off yet. Step 3. While the disposal is still running and the cold water is still flowing, take your lemon half and push it in cut side first. Let the disposal grind it completely. Rind, pith, remaining pulp, all of it. Then, if you have a second half, send that in too. The moment citrus hits those spinning components, you will smell the difference. It is immediate, and it is dramatic. That citrus smell is D-limonene releasing from the lemon oils, and it is actively dissolving the grease compounds that the ice just loosened from the metal surfaces. It is not fragrance covering a smell. It is a chemical reaction eliminating the source of the smell at the molecular level. There is a difference, and you will notice it instantly. If you are using peels instead of halves, push 2 or 3 peels in while the disposal runs. Same result. Step 4. Turn off the disposal now, but keep the cold water running at a slow trickle. Take your 2 tablespoons of baking soda and pour them directly down the drain opening slowly. You want the baking soda to coat the drain walls below the grinding chamber rather than blasting straight through with full water pressure. Once the baking soda is in, turn off the water completely. Set a timer for 3 minutes. Walk away. Let the baking soda sit in contact with the drain walls, the residual biofilm, and the bacterial colonies that produce odor. During those 3 minutes, the sodium bicarbonate is neutralizing acidic bacterial byproducts and breaking the attachment bonds of the remaining biofilm along your drain pipe interior. 3 minutes is the minimum. 5 minutes is better. If you have the patience, let it sit for 10. Step 5. After your timer goes off, turn the cold water back on to a full flow and turn the disposal on for 15 seconds. This final flush clears everything. The loosened biofilm, the neutralized bacterial residue, the broken down grease compounds that the lemon converted to water-soluble form. All of it moves cleanly through your drain and out of your home. Run the water for an additional 30 seconds after the disposal stops. Then turn everything off and open your cabinet under the sink and just take a breath near the drain. You will notice the absence of something you have been living with so long you stopped registering it. That background odor. Gone. Not reduced. Gone. Now pull up to the drain opening and look down with your phone flashlight. Your grinding chamber walls should look visibly cleaner and darker, meaning you're seeing actual metal again, rather than the gray-brown biofilm coating that was there before. Your impeller components will be clearer. If you have a flashlight bright enough to see the grind ring, that surface will look noticeably cleaner than it did before you started. This is not subtle. First-time users are consistently shocked by how dramatic the visible difference is. Here is your maintenance schedule going forward. Once a month, run this exact treatment. Mark it on your phone calendar right now as a recurring monthly reminder. If you live in a household of 4 or more people where the disposal runs multiple times daily, do it every 2 weeks. If you cook heavily with animal proteins, chicken, fish, red meat, do it every 2 weeks, regardless of household size, because fat and protein residue accumulates significantly faster than vegetable-based food waste. The vinegar ice cubes are your upgrade for those heavy use situations. Run vinegar ice instead of regular ice for those treatments, and the additional acetic acid layer handles the heavier protein-based biofilm that regular ice alone addresses more slowly.